Okay, so we do foundation exercises with Tai Chi, and they help get us warmed up. But you can do the Tai Chi set without warming up, or you can just do the foundation exercises. And the first one we do is with our arms in front of us. So it's if your elbows are sitting on a shelf and your arms are in front of your shoulders. And you simply pivot and turn your hands back and forth on the spot, as if you're screwing in a light bulb. I'm going to take my sweater off so you can see a little bit more how the joints really turn a lot. Now, if you get tired, bring your hands down to here or just stop. Either is fine, because these are very good exercises for strengthening. But you can see how the seam of my t-shirt turns around and moves quite a bit. So these are really good for your joints. And turning on your joints is a way to keep them healthy. It lubricates the cartilage in there. And it's also a good brain exercise, because if you do this very long and for a while, you might find your hands going a bit strange like this. Eventually that kind of clears up. And of course, your shoulders might start to ache after a time. But remember to keep your hands in front of you and right in front of you, your shoulders, and let your hands drop if you get tired. But let's move on to the next foundation exercise. So this is very simple, because you're taking your hand like this, doing this movement, except for you're dropping your hand down in front of you, and you're going to push the air out in front of you. So just do one hand to start. Excellent. Now you're going to take and incorporate the other hand, and this is where some of the brain exercises go, in a push and pulling effect at the same time. Now it might be hard to keep your hand turning as you keep going along. And again, this incorporates a bit more on the shoulder joints than the first exercise did. So let's move on to the next one. And this one we start with our hands in front of our bodies, like wrists crossed at the wrists. And it's not really close, but it's not far out. It's as if we're hugging a ball to ourselves. So the ball's in here and you're hugging it, holding it. And you might have noticed we use this position a lot in the set. And so from there, you're going to turn your thumbs out as if you're carving an arc in the air. Turn your palms back, drop your hands back behind you just as well as you can. Turn your palms forward and scoop them up into the initial position. Now, if you can't have your arms going straight out beside you, let them drop down here, that's okay. And you can't turn your pivot too far back, that's okay. It's just doing what you can in these movements will really lubricate the joints. Keep doing it. But this move in particular also is going to start working on the rib cage more. And I found with doing Tai Chi that I'm a very flexible person and have soft joints and bones, but it made my sternum even softer. And sometimes if you do a lot of Tai Chi exercises, you'll see the rib joints coming into the sternum. They actually start to appear more evident, and the sternum comes out, and your chest becomes much more flexible. So mine's quite bouncy, but I naturally have sort of hyperextended joints and a lot of flexibility in my body.
Could you do it once more for the Zoom? The wasn't filmed. Right now they'll see you. No, you face this way.
Face the out.
There you go.
Okay, we'll move on to the next foundation exercise, which is a bit more difficult, but it really shows the turning on the spine, because this spiraling or turning that we do in this very initial move runs throughout all the moves, and we want to apply it to our spine a lot, because you really want to turn the spine, and doing that really works on the abdomen too. It gets the fascia stretched and moving, because all our organs are held together through the fascia. So in Tai Chi, in the Chinese medicine idea, they don't talk about muscles, or if they say muscles, they mean the whole group of muscles, tendons, and ligaments. Because if you don't have strong tendons and ligaments, it doesn't matter how strong your muscle is, you're going to rip or tear something very easily. So I'm going to do it with my back towards you. Just watch for a moment because it's confusing if I do it towards you for the first time. So try and have your hand leading the movement. And as one hand comes up, the other goes down. In a synchronized fashion, as best as you can. Again, these things are good challenges for our brains to get the movement. So the bottom hand is kind of pressing down, and these are all self-defensive moves. This one is, you're blocking somebody's move to deflect it on the top. And when it comes down to the bottom, you're deflecting a kick or something away from you. Because the important thing, of course, is you want to deflect any attack and not have your body hurt, not get into a fight because you might damage your body. You're trying to maintain your immortality. But if you notice, you can see how much turning there is in the shirt, in my t-shirt. But you're not coming from the waist, the knees at all. This is wrong. You're keeping your knees where they are to get the turning on the spine. Now, much of these moves are done as you're stepping out, sitting, and going forward. And that's the part that really works the body. But it also is really good for the spinal fluid, too, because it's helping the spinal fluid plump up and down in this slower manner that you might not get from other types of exercises. In the forum, if you have some questions or want me to show more, or want to talk about Taoism and spirituality or Tai Chi, then we can open it up then. But right now, we're going to have some meditation. Is that right? Have I got the list right? From Attila. Thank you all very much for bearing with me through and indulging us for our own life.